and early here in Austin, Texas. The weather is miserable, so I'm happy to be with you in our warm and fuzzy, cozy webinar room, telling you about MT4 and how you can use Autochartist inside your MT4 application. I am hoping that this recording will come through. Last week we got the visuals but not the voice. I think I've fixed my computer, so we should get video and voice this time. So let's hope for the best. If not, we'll redo the webinar another week. But yeah, let's hope that comes through. I've got Errol and Yvette on the line. Wave to everybody, Errol and Yvette. Right, I'm kidding.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. So they're here to help me answer calls, because answer questions. This is a absolutely huge webinar today. We didn't quite beat our record, but let's anyway, the point is that in these very, very big webinars, I simply cannot keep track of questions while I'm doing the presentation, because the questions just seem to be streaming through continuously. So please bear with us. If we Errol and Yvette will try and help me answer everything. If you don't get the answer you're looking for, please feel free to email support. That's support@autochartist.com, and we will get to your question. And again, it's nothing personal. It's not because we don't love you. It's just that there's hundreds and hundreds of people on this webinar today, so it's just a little bit difficult to keep up sometimes. So with that said, we will get going. My first question is actually unrelated to our webinar that I want to ask you. I just want to find out from all of you where you heard about Autochartist. If you can just quickly give me an idea. We're just doing a bit of a survey. Wow. Okay, so it's mostly to everybody's broker, which is great. Oh, a lot of other. I wonder what other is. Okay, that's interesting. Forex-related websites. Okay, I see Ragi is my friend Ragi Horn is sending me some people, which is fantastic. So, okay, good. All right, thank you, everyone. Thanks for that. Appreciate your feedback on that. I'm just going to close that poll. Okay, so the next question I have for all of you is related to this website. Is actually my first topic of conversation is if any of you know where to actually get the MT4 plugin for Autochartist. Ah, good. Okay, so all right, that's great. So Yvette and Errol and I were having a big discussion today, having an argument about why would people come to the webinar if they didn't know where to get it and haven't tried it. But obviously, Yvette, well done, you were right. People don't know where to get them. A lot of people don't know where to get the plugin. So I'm going to show them now where to get the plugin before we carry on. Okay, so a lot of you don't know where to get the plugin, so let me help you out with that. So you can now, on your screen, you should now be able to see the Autochartist website on the right-hand side of my screen. I am in this presentation precluded from showing you any of our broker partner logos. What you can do is you can go to our website, autochartist.com. On the top right-hand side of the screen, you will actually see a red button that says Login Broker Partners. If you click on that link, which I can't do right now in this webinar because we have lots of different traders from many different brokers, and I can't show them, competitor broker logos. If you click on that broker partners page, you will come to a page with a whole lot of icons for brokers. We support about 60 or so brokers, that's 60 brokers around the world. When you click on your broker's logo, you will get an option to download the MT4 plugin, and it's that simple. And when you actually start downloading the plugin, you will get this page that I've shown you now, which says downloading MT4 plugin, right, which is what it is doing. It will do it at the bottom of the page, and it will actually give you some installation instructions. Essentially, it's really easy. All you do is you click next, 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 next on the on the installation wizard, and at the end of it all, what should happen is you should have what is shown at the bottom of the screen here. You'll have, let me actually show it to you on my screen. You will have these custom indicators under your custom indicators section. It's also shown over here. It's also shown over here. Okay, so it's essentially just once it's downloaded, just click next, go through the entire process, and you'll have those custom indicators in your MT4 plugin. And from there, I'll actually teach you how to get the thing to work. There's a few technical nuances, but I'm hopefully going to get through to that today. Now, this brings me to my next poll question. I hope I've answered the question of how to get to the plugin. If I haven't, please let me know now so I can go through that again. So essentially go to www.autochartist.com, click on the top right hand side that says broker partners, click on your broker's logo and download the MT4 plugin from there. It should be very clear, and then just go through the wizard. Mike says to please show that again. Okay, sure, Mike. You go to www.autochartist.com, you click on the login broker partners link, which I'm hovering over now, but I can't click on it right now. I'm precluded from doing so in this presentation. And on those pages, on your broker login page, you will actually get an option to download the MT4 plugin. When you click on that MT4 plugin download, I think there's even some brokers offer MT5 plugins as well. If you click on them, it'll actually start downloading the application and show you this wizard. It's just a guide, but essentially what it says is, it says click next on the wizard that runs. So you'll see the application will download on the bottom of your Chrome or your Internet Explorer, whatever you're using. Once it's downloaded, click it to install it, and just click through the wizard, and and it should be relatively straightforward to get it installed. And then you'll end up with some, if you look to the left of my screen, you'll end up with some custom indicators on the left-hand side in your custom indicators section in your MT4 or MT5 package. All right, let me move on now. I have 6. I am not sure why, Muhammad, I am not sure why you have only 5. You may just want to drop us a screenshot with your screen so we can figure that out. That might be an error on your side. Okay, so let me carry on now. I'm focusing too much on the questions and not actually getting through my presentation. So once you've got that installed, Autochartist actually installs a number of different things on your MT4. It's not only these little plugins. There's a few things that happen in the background as well. What you will notice, actually from Monday, not from today, from Monday, there's a new version of our plugin coming out, and people that have already downloaded the plugin will get this update automatically. You will also have a template in there called Autochartist. There's an Autochartist template as well as a default template. Now, what that actually means is that once that plugin is installed, and that's going to happen, as I said, on Monday, or soon be Monday afternoon GMT, or by the latest on Tuesday, every time you open a chart window, let me open a chart window, for example, you will automatically have Autochartist running in it. There will be no need for you to actually drag and drop any indicators onto the charts. So the lines will automatically be drawn on there for you, all right, which is quite handy. But let me actually go through the process of showing you right now how to actually drag and drop indicators onto your chart windows. So let me open up a GBP USD chart. Actually, let me open up a chart there where we already have an opportunity. So, for example, on the right-hand side here, we have the Autochartist web application open, and we see a Euro GBP opportunity. So maybe we can find a Euro GBP, and that's a 240 minutes, so it's a 4-hourly candle. and 4-hourly chart. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually remove that default template. I'm going to just remove some of the indicators there. So we start off with a plain chart without much on it. Okay, so now we have a plain chart, Euro GBP chart. Now, what we can do is we can go to our custom indicator section on the left-hand side, and we can actually drag and drop some of these indicators. So, for example, I take the chart patterns indicator, I drag it, and I drop it on here. Now, before I move on, this is a nuance within MetaTrader. In order to make requests to our servers, we have a technology we use called the DLL. It stands for Dynamic Link Library, and I'm not a very technical person, but essentially this DLL is the bridge between the Autochartist MetaTrader indicator and our servers. So you need to allow DLL imports in order to let the Autochartist plugin actually draw lines on your chart. And then in the input section, you have a variety of different parameters that you can actually set for your Autochartist, not for your chart patterns specifically. So the ones that I like to normally toggle with is the show completed and show emerging patterns. If we have time towards the end of the presentation, I can go into what are completed and emerging patterns. But if you're an Autochartist user, you would probably know, and I can go into that slightly later. And I can simply click OK, and then Autochartist will go ahead and authenticate and connect and do whatever it needs to do to download all that information. And there we go. There's some chart patterns that it drew. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this little window down towards the bottom here, and we can see the latest pattern that it's got is a descending triangle. There it is over there, of length 49. So now what I can do is, if I actually want to see this opportunity that I've got on the right-hand side here, which is this key level, this level, right? What I can do is I can take the key levels indicator, I can drag it, and I can drop it onto my chart. Again, what I want to do is I want to enable DLL imports. And I will select that, and if all goes according to plan, I should get that support level drawn on my chart. And there it is. At the bottom, you can see that blue line over here. That is the same support level that I've got drawn on my Autochartist application on the right-hand side here. Right. So what I'm showing you now is really the way in which I use Autochartist, which is essentially looking at the web application to start off with, to tell me what are the good opportunities I need to be looking at, and then applying the Autochartist indicators onto the MetaTrader charts. Now, some of you may be asking, okay, but then how do I open up the Autochartist web application? Well, that's really simple. Once you've installed the MetaTrader plugin, one of the custom indicators on the left-hand side is called Autochartist web application. So you can actually drag that and drop that onto a chart, allow DLL imports, and if all goes according to plan, it will actually launch your Autochartist web application in a window over here. Now I'm going to switch that off. I'm going to close that down. But yes, essentially, I don't know if any of you saw that. I've got the Autochartist web application to come up on my window over here, on my browser window over here. So, so you can do that every time if you want to launch it. Now, once I've launched the web application, I can drag and drop that web application on again, but it won't do anything. It won't relaunch my web application. So when you switch time intervals, this is a bug we used to have before. When a person used to switch time intervals or used to open a new chart window, it used to keep on opening multiple versions of the web application. We don't have that problem anymore. That bug was fixed. And so essentially, once you've got that web application launched, it won't launch again. If you do wanna definitely prevent it from launching, you can just remove the indicator there, the Autochartist web application indicator. You can remove it, and then it definitely won't launch again. So before we go into some of the technical details around around Autochartist and you know how to actually use it in your trading in MetaTrader, I want to point out a quick shortcut with regards to those DLL imports. So now I want to show you another indicator, the Autochartist volatility indicator, which essentially shows you the expected price range movement of the selected instrument for the next few hours. So again, if I take this Autochartist volatility indicator and I drop it onto the chart, again I have to select the DLL imports. So this is, as I'm sure you can imagine, this is getting a little bit tedious, right, allowing DLL imports. So there's a shortcut. The MetaTrader guys are pretty smart. If you go under Tools, Options, and you click under the Expert Advisors section, you can actually just set by default, allow DLL imports. And make sure you unconfirm the confirm DLL function calls. Now, if you're not sure about that, a screenshot of this is actually shown in the download page that I showed you earlier. Here's a screenshot that shows allow DLL import and don't confirm DLL function calls. Okay, it's there for you. But essentially what this tells MetaTrader to do is to allow DLL imports by default. Now, I just want to let you know that you know, Autochartist is a big and trustworthy company. However, we cannot warrant the same for other people that sell you indicators that use DLLs. So if you're only using Autochartist in your as Autochartist technology that uses DLL imports, then it's pretty safe to allow DLL imports. If you're using other third parties which you don't trust as much, then you really do need to give you a warning that once you allow DLL imports, then the indicator has quite a lot of access to your computer and other information in your computer. So I just urge you to just be vigilant and don't just allow DLL imports if you have other non-trusted third-party plugins. I am, of course, going to allow DLL imports on my screen, and now what you'll notice is when I drag and drop the Autochartist volatility indicator onto my chart, allow DLL imports is already enabled. Okay. Now, okay, there we go. All right, so now I've got some of my volatility analysis on there automatically. Okay, good. So that is essentially how to actually get Autochartist working. And I wonder if I can just pause for just 5 minutes there, just to take a few questions regarding just the stuff around how to actually install it. And before I do that, I guess I should have actually asked this last question before, whether you have previously, before this webinar, successfully already installed the MT4 plugin. I'll just quickly get some answers for you, from you. Okay, so quite a number of you have not yet installed it. So I'm hoping that I've answered some of your questions. I see quite a few of you have already got installed. Many of you have not got it installed. Okay, so thank you very much for that feedback. So I wonder if I can just kind of ask out to Errol and Yvette to find out if there's any questions specifically about how to actually get the plugin installed that I can answer before actually going into the trading side of things with Autochartist on MetaTrader.
Milan, actually it doesn't seem like there are any questions on that topic. I think people somehow have worked it out.
Okay. Oh, that's a good thing. Okay,
yeah.
So either I've explained it well or it's been really easy. Okay, which is great. And again, if there are any questions with regards to that, please do feel free to drop us an email to support@autochartist.com. Essentially, once you've got that plugin installed, it's dragging and dropping the indicator onto the chart and selecting Allow DLL Imports. And if you're lazy to select Allow DLL Imports, just go into Options, Expert Advisors, Allow DLL Imports, and untick Confirm DLL Function Calls. And then you are well on your way to using Autochartist.
Hi, Ilan. We actually, Ilan, sorry, we do actually have a question now.
Yes.
We have a question that came through. from Swaroop. He says he has a question about the time zone offset if I am in GMT and a broker data is from GMT. I'm not sure what the question is.
All right. Yes, I do actually understand the question.
Okay.
That's actually a great question. The simple answer is, if you have downloaded the MT4 plugin for your broker, specific to your broker, and you're using that plugin on your broker's MT4, then you should have absolutely no need to change the time zone offset parameter. So mine is set to the value of 2000, and I'll explain that. That's just an internal code that we use at Autochartist when we're using the plugin that is not specific to a broker. We have an internal plugin that we use that is not specific to a broker, and so it doesn't know what the time zone is of that plugin, and so essentially it to the value of 2000 tells Autochartist to do a best fit, okay, because sometimes the data obviously in the forex industry is slightly different for every broker. So 2000 says do your best to fit it as well as you can. But essentially the simple answer is, if you've downloaded the plugin which is specific to your broker's MT4 platform, there should be absolutely no need to change this parameter. It should, the patterns should exactly correlate to the pattern, to the data that you see on your MT4 chart. I hope that answers the question.
Ilan, we actually have tons of questions that have just come through.
Oh, we do? Okay.
Yeah, there's like 10 questions here. I don't know if you want to maybe hold off answering until the end of the webinar.
Well, if it's got to do with specifically with how to install the thing, I'd like to handle a few of them now. Are there any specific ones which are about the installation and getting things running? And then if there's questions about, you know, how to best trade it, then that's kind of my next 5-10 minutes that I'm going to do.
Okay, there's one about, there's an error that people get when they install it. The error is, please select a valid installation directory where MT4 has been installed.
The reason you're getting that error is because you haven't yet upgraded to the latest version of MetaTrader. So whoever your broker is, make sure you ask your broker to give you the latest version, which is above build 600. So tell your broker you want a MetaTrader which is build 600 or newer. And if you have that, then you will not get that error anymore. And if you do, then please drop us an email to support@autochartist.com and let us know which broker you're working with and what the build number is of your MetaTrader. You can get the build number by clicking on Help About. In MetaTrader, you can click Help About. It will give you the build number of your MetaTrader. Send us through the broker the build number and that error message, and we will look into it with a matter of urgency. But as far as I know, if you go to your broker and say, please can you provide me build 600, which is the latest build of MetaTrader, then that error will no longer exist.
Ilan, actually also, can I just add to that? I see Keith also answered here, which is a very good point. With the new update, when you install in, you have to actually choose the MQL4 directory. There's a special new directory called MQL4. It's like a folder that you actually have to choose.
Well, actually, when you go through the installation process, the Autochartist wizard actually identifies all the installations. Keith is completely right. It identifies all the installations of MetaTrader that you have on your computer with those special strange directories that it's got. MetaTrader has now changed the directory structure. It goes into directories which are really gobbledygook. It's a whole bunch of numbers and letters. But what Autochartist does, it actually scans it scans the folder and actually identifies folders in which you have installed the MT4 it identifies your MT4 directories, and if you've got multiple MT4s, then it will actually identify all of those and give you a selection of which one you actually want to install into. But this process will only successfully happen if you've installed build 600 or newer. So, but yes, thank you, Keith. That's right. It's all a bit messed up with the new version of MetaTrader. But Autochartist should be smart enough. The installation wizard is smart enough to identify those very strange folder names and give you a selection of those. But it'll only do it if you've upgraded to build 600 or newer. So please make sure you ask your broker for build 600 or newer of your MetaTrader application.
Okay, Alan, I think a lot of people are actually asking about...
Errol, is there anything else? Or?
Yeah, I think carry on, because a lot of the questions are about what you're going to discuss now.
Okay, great. Okay, let me carry on then. So I've given you. It's been quite a long thing already, and I babbled a bit in the beginning for 5 minutes. But I like to keep my presentations down to 30 minutes. We'll probably go on to about 40 minutes in this presentation. I hope everybody doesn't mind. It's a little bit longer than what I normally do. If you want to leave, if I'm over time, I'm sorry. Thank you for joining us, and please catch the recording, by tomorrow. Otherwise, please wait with me for another 10 minutes. I'm just going to go into the basics of how I actually use Autochartist. So what I've done is, I'm just going to close that example window down. In my Autochartist web application, I primarily use the Our Favorite section. I don't really use trading opportunities, performance stats anymore because Our Favorites is really the merge between trading opportunities and performance stats. And on the web app, I basically have the opportunity to say, well, show me all the opportunities that have a 65% or greater chance of hitting their forecast level based on historical probability, right? So it's obviously might not be indicative of future performance. I normally, for Forex, I normally set mine to 70. For New York Stock Exchange and other things, I normally set mine to about 65. But for Forex, I set mine to 70. And essentially what this does is give me the kind of highest probability opportunities that Autochartist has to offer right now. And so now what I normally do is I choose two of these opportunities that I like, and many of you that have been in presentations with me before will know that I absolutely love patterns and levels that are based on horizontal type levels. So this GBP JPY example here on 60-minute data is definitely the kind of thing that does it for me. So I've actually opened up a GBP JPY chart over here, and I've added the indicators, as I showed you before, chart patterns, key levels, and volatility analysis. And you can see quite clearly exactly the same image that I have on my Autochartist screen on my right-hand side, I have on the side over here. Okay. Now, what I can do now is I can actually take and draw some levels on this. So you can see on the right-hand side here, my Autochartist says the forecast is 170.41. So let's draw a line on 170.41. I might not get it exactly. Okay, there we go. 170.42. Excuse the slight error. 170.42. That's where Autochartist thinks it's going. Okay, and this is a 1 hourly chart. Okay, so now this is a 1 hour. These are 1 hourly candles, and the forecast is 170. And you can see based on my volatility analysis, right? Those are those blue lines. For the next 60 minutes, Autochartist thinks it's going to be at around 170.25. Within the next 4 hours from now, it thinks it'll be around 170.52. So it's quite interesting that Autochartist is basically making a forecast for the next 4 hours. And what happened, we're a little bit late for this pattern. We're obviously like 4 hours late for this pattern, but there was a breakout, a slight pullback, a move towards that level, a slight pullback. Now, certainly, pullbacks are very common in the market. So this is certainly an opportunity that I would be comfortable taking because there was a very strong breakout. You can see that the breakout is very, very strong. A very large candle had broken through the resistance level. The probability of this pattern, which was an ascending triangle, was 69%. In the last 6 months, if you can see on the right-hand side of my screen, I had 581 patterns out of 838 ascending triangles hit my forecast level. And GBP JPY, 502 out of 728 hit their forecast level. That's the instrument. And for this time of day when it was identified, which seems to be around 6 a.m. New York time, 73% probabilities, 517 out of 706 occurrences, which gives me a total kind of a probability of around 71%, which is based on past probability of the last 6 months. It might not be indicative of future probability. So this is a really good a high probability opportunity to follow. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I think, take this position now. So GBP JPY, I'm going to trade this position, new order. I'm going to trade it very small, well, whatever, not one lot, it's just a demo. I'm going to buy. Okay, great. So now I have an order into the market at the current market rate, but now it is a naked position, right? What does a naked position mean? A naked position means that I don't have a stop loss or a take profit. So what I need to do now is I need to decide. So let's set our take profit first. Our take profit first should be relatively easy. I can take profit at 170.41, which is what Autochartist tells us. Okay, so I've set a take profit level, and I can remove my red line because now you can see that I have a take profit level. And now the reason, or actually, what I want to say is that the reason why I'm comfortable taking this take profit level is because I'm happy with the volatility. I'm basically happy with the fact that this level will be reached within the next 4 hours, right? Even with current market volatility. So there doesn't have to be any exceptional type of movement or exceptional market volatility for this price to be reached, which is something which is really attractive. If, for example, my take profit level from Autochartist was somewhere up there, that's way over the forecast for the next kind of volatility for the next day or 24 hours. So I would really hesitate to set my take profit somewhere up there. Right? So the idea with take profits is to really set a take profit which is within your kind of expected market range, right? So again, you know, some people they go into the market and they say, well, you know, where should I set my take profit? And they just, you know, choose an arbitrary number, 100 pips, 200 pips. But actually, that's complete nonsense because you know, that kind of number doesn't make sense. It's not applicable to the current market conditions. And this is why we provide this volatility indicator, volatility analysis indicator, so that you can actually see what is the kind of volatility you can expect right now in the market, right? And if you want, you can actually go into the volatility analysis section in Autochartist itself, so we can actually look up what is this GBP JPY. We can get the volatility analysis for GBP JPY. We can see that here we go. So you can see that GBP JPY trades very heavily actually during the London session. I've got my Autochartist set to American New York, and it's now 10 o'clock in New York, so the volatility is actually dropping off quite heavily. So if I had done the same exercise a few hours ago, I'd probably get lines which were much further away from where my lines are right now. But right now the volatility is dropping for the next 6-7 hours, right? So the lines, the expected volatility is going to come closer, and so you need to adjust your stop loss and take profit according to the expected volatility in the market. But now, of course, I'm still naked on the stop loss side, right? So what I'm going to do on the stop loss side is I'm actually going to for this opportunity specifically, I am actually going to be quite aggressive with my stop loss. I'm going to set it where the next 60-minute opportunity is, the 60-minute line is, which is at 169.70. Now, the only reason I did that was because the market has already moved in the direction, right? So if we had just got this opportunity when it opened, there's a high likelihood I probably would have not set my stop loss this close. Normally, with chart patterns and with breakouts, you get a movement and a breakout and then a pullback. So I actually, and some people call it a bad habit, it's what I do, I actually sometimes give a slightly bigger a room for a stop loss than a take profit. That's normally my style of trading. I like to give the thing a little bit of movement room to move. But essentially now I'm in my position. I've used my Autochartist our favorites or trading opportunities to see the opportunity that I like. I've opened up my MetaTrader window. I've dragged and dropped the Autochartist indicators in there. As I say, from Monday, from Tuesday, you won't even need to do that. You'll automatically have your chart patterns and support levels and resistance levels drawn on the chart automatically, or you can just simply apply the Autochartist template that I'm showing you right now onto your chart, and that'll draw everything you need of Autochartist onto your chart immediately with one click, instead of having to drag and drop Autochartist indicators. And then, of course, I've used my volatility analysis to help me set some market-appropriate stop loss and take profit levels. And I think that is all I want to say. Otherwise, I'm going over my time. Maybe, Errol, we can have 5 minutes of Q&A. If you have any questions that you haven't handled yet, or you think are good questions that would be applicable to a large portion of the crowd.
Okay, Len. There's so many, I don't know where to start. Let me just look through here.
Okay, just one or two. I mean, we've got 5 minutes. We're going to, if your question doesn't get answered, please email it to support@autochartist.com. But let's just go through a few, because we're already way over time. We're already 10 minutes over time. So if we can just handle a few of them.
Okay, I don't know if this is a pick to what you're talking about, but Robert is asking, what is volatility based on?
Good question, actually. The volatility analysis essentially is 6 months worth of data summarized. So what we've done here is we've gone hour by hour, looking back for the last 6 months to get an understanding of the average range for every hour of the day of GBP/JPY, the movement of GBP/JPY for every hour of the day. Okay, so between 0 and 22 days, we've gone back in 6 months worth of data and summarized per hour what the volatility is. Now, if you look higher up on the screen over here, which is what the volatility analysis lines are drawn at on your MetaTrader, we call this the trumpet, obviously because it looks like a trumpet. This is the volatility of GBP/JPY on a Thursday at 9:30. So what we've done is we've gone back every Thursday for the last 6 months at 9:30 a.m. New York time and analyzed what is the upcoming volatility in the market. And so this is a summary of 6 months for a Thursday for GBP/JPY at 9:30 a.m. of the forecast price range. Remember, this is non-directional, this is price range. That's a great question. Thank you for that. Errol, let's handle 2 more questions.
Okay, sure. Which one do I choose here?
Yeah.
I think there seems to be like a confusion between the time zones that you see on your web platform for volatility analysis and on the MT4 platform. Some people are a bit confused about the time zones.
The time zones. Okay, all right. The reason why maybe this is the answer, and I hope it's clear. My Autochartist web application right now is sitting in America, New York. My MetaTrader is sitting on GMT +2. So I'm actually about 7 hours difference between the 2 platforms. So my MetaTrader is on Central European time. So it's about 6 hours difference between the MetaTrader you see on your screen right now, the MetaTrader and the Autochartist that I'm using. However, again, I want to point out that when you do this, when you launch your Autochartist web application from this web application indicator, your MetaTrader and your Autochartist will exactly correlate. The reason mine don't correlate 100% is because I'm using a demo version of my Autochartist web application, which we use internally, which has got all the features. and all the markets and everything. So it's slightly different from the MetaTrader version that each of you have for your specific broker. And again, if you do have a problem and things don't correlate, please do send us a screenshot. Sometimes we do find issues. Please do send us a screenshot. Let us know. We normally handle these kind of bugs really quickly as a matter of urgency. So, Errol, let's do one more. We're already on 42 minutes of this presentation.
Okay, I'm going to actually ask a bit of a trading question someone asked here because it's been a very technical webinar. So someone's asking, as a beginner, what do you suggest using, I think, using as an indicator with Autochartist?
Good question. So if you're a breakout trader, that means you are trading patterns that have broken through support resistance. So that's the one example I showed you now. If you look at some of these other examples here, for example, this one over here, this GBP Euro, this is an emerging pattern, right? It hasn't yet broken through support resistance. So if you're trading trend like breakouts, then a very good indicator to use along with your breakouts is a moving average. I'm doing that right now. So I add a moving average indicator. Now, the way I look at these things is I like to use a 35 moving average indicator. We've shown that having a 35 period moving average in conjunction with a breakout on Autochartist increases your past probability, which may not be indicative of future probability, right? Okay, I have to keep on disclaiming that. It increases by about 10%. So your chances of hitting your forecast region, if your moving average is sloped in the same direction as your breakout, is about 10% more than if your moving average is not sloping in the same direction as your breakout. So certainly for breakout traders, add a moving average. But you need to find your own style. You know, some people like to use 3 different periods of moving averages. Some people, like me, I only use 1 period of moving average, 35. That seems to work for me. Again, I hope that answers your question. But let me tell you, my experience is that your stop loss and take profit positioning is absolutely vital. Any professional trader will tell you that your money management and your stop loss and take profit is probably a lot more important than your entry signal or indicators. It's extremely important to have market appropriate stop loss and take profit levels. Very, very important. I cannot emphasize that more. So don't just choose your stop loss and take profit arbitrarily. 10 pips, 20 pips, 50 pips, I don't know what you've chosen. Look at the volatility analysis and make an intelligent guess as to where your stop loss and take profit should be. Very, very important. Okay, everyone. I'm sure there's a ton of questions, and I'm really, really sorry that we haven't got to them. We're already on 45 minutes for this presentation, and we have to wrap it up. And I appreciate everyone's time. And again, I'm sorry if we didn't get to your question. Please email us, support@autochartist.com. If you want to get hold of me directly, just let the support guys know why, and they will gladly send you my email address. You can contact me directly. And I hope to see you at the next webinar. If you want this webinar tomorrow, it should be available on our website. Errol will email all of you the link. Thanks for your attention, and